Welcome to the oasis of the desert, Las Vegas. And once again, this, the largest hotel complex in the world, the Las Vegas Hilton, has staged the most impressive bill of international boxing. The bill topper, Thomas the Hitman Hearns. He was attempting to take the North American super middleweight crown away from the champion, James the Heat Kinchen. Now, there was a new body formed yesterday called the World Boxing Organization, and they stated that they would recognize the winner of this fight as their world champion. But there were two legitimate world title fights on the bill as well. Michael Nunn, the IBF middleweight champion, was defending his crown against that rugged Argentinian Juan Domingo Roldan. And Canada's Matthew Hilton, he was defending his IBF light middleweight crown against the number one contender, Philadelphia's Robert Hearns. But first, Hearns versus Kinchen. And this was a very important encounter for Hearns, the only man that has won 4 world titles at different weights. You see, just 5 months ago, he lost his WBC middleweight crown against Iran Barkley in 3 explosive rounds.
Now he's just got a standing target at times there, Helga. Oh, what do you think of this? A man taking a beating, throws one hit and hits the record breaking Tommy Hearns on the chin in the third round, and he's going to get counted out, or if he doesn't, he'll be all over the place when he gets up. But Richard's still trying to give him as long as he can, and he's made it, but for how long? I don't believe this one, Jim. Unbelievable. Tommy Hearns right above that position, and we're holding a hand up trying to stop him coming out the ropes here. And the referee's grabbed him, and it's all over in the third round.
So was that the start of a downhill slide for Thomas Hearns, or was it just a temporary setback? That is one issue. But sadly, James Kinchen, at 30 years of age, has a lot to prove himself. Let's join our commentators now ringside, the former world lightweight champion Jim Watt and Reg Godbridge.
So the opening round then, let's find out whether there's any sort of high lemming content now in Hearns coming back. You'd have thought he'd been finished that night. I certainly thought he wouldn't probably fight again. But he loves the game, obviously enjoys the money as well. You don't fight for nothing in this business. But James Kinchen is a very capable fighter indeed, who should have been championship fighting a long time ago. Both at veteran stages really at 30. But as usual with Hearns, he comes out banging hard, and he really is a hard puncher. As a welterweight, he was so destructive. And then they defeated Dennis Andrews, of course, for the light heavyweight championship. Span of 25 pounds between his championships. The WBC ratings actually put Kinchen one place ahead at the new super middleweight division, the 12 stone, 168. He boxed in London, Kinchen, but not against the Briton. He actually defeated Buster Drayton in London in 85. Now, a fight obviously that was meant for American television. Star-studded audience, including Mike Tyson in the audience. I have to say, he did look quite out of shape as we had read in the local papers here. He's, yes, above his fighting weight, but no way did he look out of shape. Good exchange in the opening round.
Yeah, typical fast start from here, and still taking the odd chances maybe he shouldn't take. But he landed good punches himself. He's taken a couple of right hands in the chin, hasn't flinched. So hopefully he'll get himself warmed up for the job here.
Is this your first look at Kinchen, or did you see him at all when he boxed in London?
No, this is the first time I've seen Kinchen, yeah. Obviously I know plenty of him, a good solid professional, good pressure fighter. He's going forward now, he's just not getting his own punches off quickly enough. But he's found Hearns' chin a couple of times. He's still looking for it.
Kinchen's got that kind of style that breaks more hearts than bones, really. Defeating Buster Drayton at that time was a really good performance. Who went on to win a world title then, Drayton. And I do repeat to you, I think the substitute is really better than the original with fully Obel of Venezuela.
Yeah, well, just as the round ended, he landed another couple of solid shots onto Hearns' chin, but Hearns has taken them well.
And he's a bit bruised around the eye there, a bit swollen. That surprises me, as all the corner men. Ralph Citro is the man that has to cope with any cuts, and Emmanuel Stewart, one-time national coach for America's Golden Glove team, etc. But he's been around with this man a long time now, and guides him well. But there you go, they run into storms, don't they, all fighters? And Iran Barkley was taking so much stick, and then out of the blue it was all over. And Hearns was not only on the deck but through the ropes and almost on top of us. They're out for the third. And when we say substitute Kinchen, he was of course in shape to take the fight. He was already training for another one at the time. He wasn't literally picked out of a gymnasium and out of shape, far from it. Weighs 166 pounds, that's half a pound heavier than Hearns. He really is as sharp as a tack, Jim, but as we say, we've just got to find out if we can whether the punch resistance to that. I think Kinchen's talking to him, isn't he? Can you hear that?
Yeah, he's been talking to him in the previous round. He was saying, right Tom, come on, give us some more of those. Yeah, I think he's trying to draw Hearns into a maul. I think Hearns has too much experience, too much sense for that.
Well, I've heard of talking a good fight, but that's a bit ridiculous. Holds the title for the United States Boxing Association. Kinchen, he defeated Alex Ramos. What a good class fighter, back in 84 in 9 rounds. So much more than the mere point scorer, Jim Hearns' jab, isn't it? And it really is quite fearsome.
Oh yeah, it's a good solid stiff punch he throws. But he seems to be looking for the spot to place the right hand. That's where the power comes from. But Kinchen is keeping his head nice and low, just showing him the forehead.
Well, I must say, for a man with 45 wins and against 3 losses, Hearns still looks as though he's got plenty of ambition and life in his boxing. He's been head man for a long time around, and he doesn't like to be without a championship now, Hearns. Very much with his eye, of course, on what Sugar Ray Leonard is doing on Monday. Oh, the right hand came in there, Jim, didn't he? Time that well. He was looking, as you say, to land that one as we come up to the end of the third. There's the countdown clock. Took the punch well, though, Kinchen, so far. There's the man himself. Now you decide whether you think he's out of shape. Our old mate Frank Bruno will obviously be interested in looking. Yes, he's a bit puffy around the face, but I'm not going to tell it him, are you? So there it is, patched up game between rounds. Hearns, it's not really damaged at all, but they're certainly putting some ice packs on him in round 4 then. And he's found a very resolute opponent here. I mean, the whole fight trade know what James Kinchen is capable of. Texas born, lived in San Diego now. He's always been knocking at the door with good fighters over the years. He lost to Juan Roldan, and that was on the Agler and Leonard fight night, and that's the only KO of his career. That was in the 9th round. So he's had 49 wins. No, 49 fights actually, 43 wins and 30 of those stopped. And it's the Heat's turn to throw the right hand, Jim. Decent punch. Now we'll find out whether he still absorbs them well, Hearns.
Kinchen isn't getting through now and again with these overhand right hands. He hasn't troubled Hearns, but there's been good solid shots. Okay, the main thing that I'm noticing, Hearns hasn't really troubled Kinchen with his punching. He's landed some good shots. Kinchen just keeps coming through them.
Oh, there it is, and again. Now we know that there is trouble with the chin, there's trouble with the resistance. Hearns was dominating until that round. The first decent, as they say in the game, punches that he was caught with, he went over. Now, there it is, out of nowhere, the Heat Kinchen's turning on the Heat, isn't he now? And is he going to do the same as Iran Barkley did, or is he going to slug it out, Hearns, and get away with this? What a fight it is. No, he's rocking again there, punch high on the head, and his knee buckled. They really betrayed him again there. Maybe he's never recovered from an incredible battle with Marvin Hagler. He's holding on there. They've got handcuffs, I think, Hearns. They're booing him as well. I mean, he is desperate at this stage, Jim.
Hearns is completely gone, Reg. Completely gone. Instinct's still to fight back there. He should be holding on here, maybe taking a count on one knee, just trying to get his head clear. But he is gone.
He's trying to see this round out as we get the clock in. But Kinchen's angry with him, and quite rightly, and the crowd are jeering. But it's desperation stuff. He's almost like the drowning sailor who's clinging to the mast there. Kinchen's every bit as good a fighter, I would have thought, now as Iran Barkley. And he's not marked as Barkley was, so he's still got more than plenty of fight in him. But what a deterioration this has been in the man who's been a four-time champion at different weight turns now. Is he going to use his skill to get out of trouble again? He looks like he might have recovered as we get up to the end of that round. Well, what an absolute desperation, wasn't there, Jim? I mean, I understand boxers hanging on, but I mean, that was clutching for dear life.
Well, in Hearns' last three fights has been all over the place, with punches to the chin, and once again it's happened. Kinchen's not a noted big puncher, but Hearns was all over the place. He was out on his feet, and really he has a serious problem. And his punches don't seem to be troubling Kinchen. Kinchen was coming through the punches, and he was coming back on the chin. And Hearns at this point was all over the place.
So there's grabbing the mouthpiece, as they call it here, the only protection above the waist boxes. He's absolutely smothered in water. It looks as though they've just turned a shower on him. But he'll need more than that to recover now. The water and the sweat bouncing off them as they're landing these blows. In the fifth round, the point is, Jimmy, doesn't even need to be caught on the point of the jaw. It's on the head. He seemed to wobble from that.
Yeah, but it just seems, we've been saying for a long time, we don't like people built like Hearns. He's far too tall for the weights he's been boxing at, but suddenly the problems are occurring in every fight. And he's going to have to get his boxing together, keep out of trouble for this round, and to give his head a chance to clear. But the problem is he's never shown enough punching power to discourage Kinchen. Kinchen just keeps coming forward no matter what Hearns hits him with.
The Americans are always picking up these fellas, they're sort of nearly men, people like Kinchen. Well, this could be, if he gets a dramatic turnaround here, Hearns, and could be only the second man to stop Kinchen in 49 fights. That would be some performance. certainly seen Hearns coming through the ranks, Jim, right back in '76 when he fought George Gilbody at Wembley as an amateur. And a split verdict, by the way. And that seems absolute ages ago, but he's always been in the top flight. He must have been to win those championships, but there is definitely now a deterioration showing, but he still hasn't lost his fight, Jim. That's the point.
He's still in there, and thankfully the life has returned to his face and to his movements. He seems to have thrown the effects of that punch, but we still have the feeling another good shot is going to put him back in trouble again.
To do a bit of hit and hop it occasionally, and that's the only way now. He's got to stay out and get the faculties back. And we're back now in round 10. And it really has been well, the word entertaining is not quite the word for it. It's been grueling as well. There's been a lot of quality punches exchanged. There's been a lot of bravery. And you need it at this level of boxing. That's what it's all about. It's trying to impose the will on the other fellow when the skills are fairly equal. But I really was surprised when the second said to Kinchen in the corner there, "Are you hurt?" And he just shrugged his shoulders and said, "Nah." It's sort of, to put it in a Hollywood B picture, you'd say that's a little bit over the top. I don't know whether he is showing a bit of weariness, Kinchen, Jim, but when he gets a bit of success, then he piles it back on again.
Oh, a good left hook from Hearns there. Bang on the chin again, but once more, Kinchen just still talking to him. Back in again. Come on, Tommy.
Yeah, come on, Tommy. He's really trying to demoralise him, but I don't think, as you say, Hearns has been around too long. Oh, that's a bit different. You don't have to talk if you hit with a punch like that. That says it all. Well, as I say, Jim, to come back from a defeat, and a brutal defeat by Iran Barkley at Hearns, he must wonder how tough this game's going to get for him as he passes the great divide of 30.
You know, Hearns has taken a couple of punches in this round, which to me looked harder than the ones that put him over earlier on. So maybe he's warmed to his task and his determination is keeping him in there. And he's taken a couple of powerful shots in this round.
Oh, he's got fierce pride all right, Hearns always has. It was hard to explain that to people, didn't it? They're not fighters or being fighters, but there's a lot of pride goes with the money too, isn't there?
Yeah, well, you need that pride to be successful in the first place, and I don't think it ever leaves you.
Oh, what good shots these are. He's taken him, Kinchen, he really is, and then he's coming straight back again, and then they're catching him on the point of the chin.
How you feel? You want me to get on down the stretch? Yeah, you come to too long with you. Now don't fire that right here.
Well, millionaire or not, he's earning it the hard way, I'll tell you that.
Looking good.
So touching gloves there in round 11. That could have been dangerous if one had thrown a punch over the top of those arms as they were outstretched. know whether we want to believe the tag by this breakaway unit called the World Boxing Organization or not. He didn't need a title tag this one. The quality's been there and the competitive spirit has really been hard. And that seemed to be the orders, didn't it, from Emmanuel Stewart and co. Keep that boxing going, Jim, but he's still got to watch this winging punch that comes in from Kinchen.
Well, that was another solid punch from Kinchen. The left hook bang on the chin, but again Hearns has taken it and no signs of trouble.
Yet it's always been the kind of fight where you really are sitting on the edge of the seat wondering which one might get caught and go. But for sheer durability, Kinchen has been exceptional, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's never been troubled. He really has been caught with some blistering punches, never shown the slightest bit of trouble.
Well, those signs of weariness that we thought he had in a few of the previous rounds, Jimmy seems to have shaken off and coming in on the home stretch, as it were, now. Kinchen, he really is livened up in the 11th. Keep the left going, they're yelling in Hearns' corner. And he's responding to it. No, slip. Just looked down there because he slipped on something and wondered what it was, which is a bit surprising, very lax of Kinchen. Could have got caught with that one.
He's probably slipped in the water in Hearns' corner.
Oh, good solid body punches too. We can hear the really thud of them though, so just above us here. That right hand that caught Hearns in the ribs there before this. There's chance at the back now for Tommy. Tommy is making out they're not hurting Jim, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad he's not hitting me with those, and that one definitely did, but he's still rolling on. I mean, this fella takes some shifting. As he says, he never can tell which way it's going, so they're not that confident in Hearns' corner.
No, it's been close, a lot of close rounds. I slightly favour Hearns, a little more accurate with his punches, but it must be close.
So asking for applause in the final round then, and the MC Michael Buffer and the crowd responding to that. And I tell you what, they've still got plenty of life left and plenty of power left in the last round. They really are fit fighters, these Jim, aren't they? The stuff they've soaked up.
Well, Hearns got caught square a couple of times there. He doesn't seem to be troubled by the punches, but he caught a couple of fair punches there.
There was a couple of times early on there when certainly Hearns is, well, his defence looked like a blown safe at times, but he came back. Oh, what punches they are, look at this. This fella's almost got Tyson's durability, hasn't he, at the 12-stone limit.
Well, these punches are knocking his head right back, but it just comes right back in again, no effect whatsoever. What a tough man he is.
He must be a very frustrating man to fight, as well as Hearns is finding out, obviously. They've jeered a bit, some of the crowd, with Hearns, so if he gets this decision, and I frankly think he will. Well, I don't think he's going to be that much of a popular winner by the sound of it. out-of-state appointed judges, including, as I said, Cindy Barteen. Oh, what a rally in the last round, and Hearns banging trouble as he went on the ropes there. A little bit deceptive, Jim, as close as we are to it. You really think he's going to fall over for a second, and then he sort of pulls it together and comes back again. The left eye's closing.
Yeah, both his eyes are badly swollen, and he was really shaken by that punch, but again his pride has come into it, just forced himself back into the action again.
Chance of heat. Well, I must say now, I'm beginning to hedge bets a bit. I wonder how this is going, and as we get the countdown. No, that was a slip. The legs buckled. He certainly got awkward-looking legs, Hearns, but that wasn't the result of the punch. That was weariness and a bit of slipping on the canvas there. But there's the countdown then. And what a hard slog this has been. Crowd on their feet here. They've hardly heard the bell. They want to go on. And look at that. I always like to see that at the end. They've been talking to each other, but they have the great gladiatorial respect for each other as Kinchen seconds cuddle both of them. I've got a feeling he thinks his man's won. Crying almost there in Hearns' corner. The Detroit Conk team led by Emmanuel Stewart. Of course, there he is on the left.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. Larry Rosadilla has the bout 114 to 114. Bill Graham scores it 115 to 112. Cindy Barton has it 114 to 112 for the winner, who is now the WBO super middleweight champion of the world, the Hitman Thomas Hearns has got it. And the lady judge 114, 112. There's a lot of cheering, as I said. Well, there it is there, the cuddling of the supporters and the consolation there with the loser, Kinchen. But Jim, very quickly, he just about deserved it.
Yeah, well, I took Hearns very slightly, but I was prepared to be proved wrong. I think it was a little bit sharper all the way through.
Jim, would you criticise Mills Lane handling of that fourth round?
Well, I thought Mills Lane handled the fight very well, but I'm very critical of the fourth round. It took far too long to get the fighters apart and get them back to work again. And in my opinion, that certainly cost Kinchen a knockout victory, because Hearns was all over the place. I don't think he certainly hadn't recovered, and Kinchen, I'm sure, would have finished him.
Also at the press conference, Hearns said that he wanted Leonard in the next fight.
Yeah, I can see that fight taking place, but I wouldn't advise Tommy Hearns to go ahead with that. In his last three fights, he's faced pretty crude opposition. In each of those fights, he's been in all sorts of trouble. One of the fights, he was knocked out. I don't think he has the chin to mix in top quality any longer, and although Leonard's been inactive, he certainly is still top quality.
So the end for Hearns is nigh?
Yeah, I would suggest Tommy should retire. He has a tremendous career, 4 world titles at 4 different weights. We don't need him to do any more.
Jim, thank you for the moment.